Have you met Rishi Vashisht?
Vasisht? I've been to his gufa.
Have you met a Rishi?
There is sitting one.
Ma. If I may, Ma, you should share the first experience that you had in Badrinath. He was a Rishi, Ma.
Yeah. My first visit to Badrinath was when I was 16. So I went with my parents and we had to walk from Pipalkoti. The road did not go beyond that. So it was a very fascinating experience. It took about a week to go there. And then at that time there was a person he was from Kerala also. And my father knew him. He had been to school or something with him. He was a great barrister. He was one of the first barristers who had come back and was practicing law. And he had given up everything and come and settled in there. So we went there and he was, you could hardly call it a courier. It was kind of a tumbled down thing with sacks and made out of sacks and stuff like that. And a wild figure came with flapping sackcloth came out. And my father tried to introduce himself. He just refused to talk to any of them. And my poor father, he was a very sweet and simple soul. I think he was a bit hurt. Then he pierced me with his eyes and he said, would you like to see the place tomorrow? Well, come here this time. I will take you around. And that was it. So next day I went to him and he said, come. And he looked at me. Keep away that camera and stuff like that. You are not a tourist, remember that. You are here to learn something. Throw away that camera. So I couldn't even get a photo of him. So it must have been a very strange scene, this old gaunt looking with a flapping sackcloth. And I was in my teens rushing after him and all clad in jeans, I think I was wearing jeans or something. And I can't remember what he talked about, but his presence was amazing. He was a very great barrister, at that time. And he just gave up everything. Later on, I think the climate, he was not that climate. He stayed there during winter also. And after a few winters, I think the body, as I told you, is very, very demanding. You have to take a certain amount of care of this body if you want to finish the cause which you have. The marathon race, you have to reach till the end. You have to take care of the body. So after that, when he came to Trishur, he was from Kerala only, and he was dying, I think. And he asked for me to go there and meet him, and I met him at the end also. It was my first acquaintance or connection with any great saint. It was quite amazing. And those times you found people, Tat Baba, there was one Tat Baba who only on sackcloth, even in the midst of winter.
He only what?
They called it Tat Baba. He wore only a sack.
He wore only a sack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Covered himself with just a sack.
How was Rishikesh 40 years ago?
Rishikesh was an amazing place. Tapovan, especially where we lived. Rishikesh actually hasn't changed much. It's Tapovan which has changed. Tapovan was a place of rishis. In fact, when we built that ashram, we even got some coins, very old coins. And once, in fact, after the ashram was built, and we locked, there was nobody there, nobody at all. We locked the door and went out, came back, and found a bundle of Havan Prasad. That is, it was ashes, and if you looked at the ashes, there was peppercorns and all sorts of things like that. So, who could have put that? I don't know. I mean, they had locked the door and gone. So, obviously, that place was that's why it's called Tapovan, where rishis used to do tapas. So, that place was a very special place, I think. So, it had very great vibrations. Even now, it has very good vibrations.
Because rishis have meditated there for ages?
Must have, I'm sure. That's why it was, why Rishikesh is famous, because there so many rishis did meditate there. Yeah.
Is there a divine experience you've had that you're able to share publicly on a public forum like this?
I mean, everything is divine. The fact I'm looking at you is divine.
Looking at you is divine too.
So if you see that place, it's just divine. Because there's an amazing display by the Ganga right in front of us. And that's the only place where you hear the sound also. Omkar is heard only there.
Could we speak a little bit about the origins of the divine, the beginning of the divine?
If you postulate a beginning, immediately there is an end.
Okay.
It immediately implies that there is an end.
The divine is beyond time.
There's beyond time, beyond space. So you are trying to categorize and put him into a frame, space-time frame, which is all that the mind can understand. But that concept that only Hinduism has is of a power which is beyond space and time. And only Hinduism has that. Every other religion confines that amazing power, whatever you like to call it, into a very, very formal frame of space and time. And then they say, if you don't follow that particular form of that space and time, you're gone. You're out to hell you go. That's how the Abrahamic religions confine God into. So he cannot be confined. They're trying to confine that which is beyond space, beyond time, beyond our mental concepts, into a framework in which the mind can understand. And the fact is that the mind can never understand. It can only experience.
Let's make this conversation a little more basic. Now, in a human being's life, you're born, and then your first memory as a human being is your early memories, your childhood. And at some point in your childhood, you understand the concept of days. Today's a Tuesday. Today's a Thursday. Today's a Sunday. At some point, you start understanding dates and years. And then you look at clocks and you start understanding what time means. Now, this whole concept of time being linear is how your human brain processes the universe, that, hey, this is how the universe works. I think what you're trying to say is that time is an entirely human construct to keep
Not only time, space also.
What is space?
Well, exactly. Space is the amount that you think has taken to go in that time.
Amount?
Yes, the space is like how much it takes some time for me to go from here to there. That is space. Okay. So space-time is a concept which Einstein said, space-time, because you cannot divorce space from time. They're connected.
You mean physical space?
Yeah, physical space.
Okay.
You cannot disconnect the two.
Right.
That's what quantum physics is about. That's what Einstein said. Space-time, he called it space-time. There is no something called difference between space and time, because space is the time you take to go from one spot in space to the other spot in space. That is called time. Yeah. And there is nothing like that at all. It's totally a mental concept.
There's nothing like space-time.
There's nothing like space-time. It's totally a mental... What happens to space-time when you're in deep sleep? Where are you?
Where are we?
Where are we? Exactly. Think of where you are. And was that a good place to be in? Was that a good time to be in, or a space to be in? It was a wonderful place, wasn't it?
It's beautiful.
Both for the beggar who sleeps on a bed of some nasty little place up there, as well for the king who's sleeping on a velvet and whatever cushioned bed. It's the same. That space and time, which is spaceless and timeless actually, is the same for both. It doesn't depend on external faculties at all. That's why every human being, whether you're a beggar or a king or a whatever, rich man, poor man, makes no difference. He has to have that certain amount when he's away from that space-time framework and his own mind, that means.
Can you get it in meditation as well?
Of course you can. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of that meditation. In that state of samadhi is a higher state than deep sleep actually.
Okay.
But in deep sleep, every human being gets a glimpse of that. It's a joyous state for anyone. So, you see, everything is connected in some causal way to something else. So, Desha, Kala and Nimitta. Desha, Kala and Nimitta. That means Desha is space, Kala is time, Nimitta is causal, something causing. Something causes something else. Everything is a series of cause and effect.
This is the nature of the Bhulok.
Nature of our life is like that.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Ma, is this cause and effect giving karma?
Of course. Our karma is also made up with that. It's all connected with that. No?
As human beings, what do we have to do?
We have to try and get out of it, because that is the whole point of sadhana, of meditation, of trying to get above that. As I said, nature has very kindly given us this deep sleep, because at that deep sleep, we are out of it. We are out of this desha kala nimitta.
I want to say that your presence and your voice is like a blanket on a winter evening.
Do you have winter in Mumbai?
May I correct myself? A blanket in winter in Rishikesh.
Okay.
What made your soul settle down in Rishikesh?
Ashram also, that place which people in Rishikesh who would never have found. And we coming straight from Kerala, how did we come across that? So it's all planned. It's all part of one's own karma.
How many human years have you spent there now?
40 years.
Wow.
I came there, I think, at 43 or something like that, yeah.
There was some messaging that had to come out today. I think that's come out of today's episode. I just appreciate you coming to our studio. We wait for days like this.
Thank you.
And thank you for your presence today. Because there's no such thing as time and space.
Okay.